Thank you, Tali. When Tali asked me to give this presentation, I naturally said yes, but I didn't realize how difficult it's going to be because, to tell you the truth, I just finished my my training, and I think I finished a very, very difficult time, and I'm just in the highlight of the beginning of my career and the beginning of, the biggest mess at home. So the combination of the two is very, very pronounced right now. So it was quite difficult to make this speech, but it was, I think it's very important. So since the feminist revolution, women are subjected to two poles. One is interested to pursue the traditional female roles, childbearing, household management, etc. And the other calls for achievements, self-fulfillments, and career. Some women try to combine both. In our profession, cardiology, this is probably the most challenging decision to take. And I have to say that I have some friends, some very close friends who are physicians in other fields. And I think everybody has to give up something during their career. It's either to be very, very good at what you do in your career, or to give up a lot at home. So to do a balanced combination is very, very difficult. So what is so unique in cardiology as a career? And what is so exceptional? So the non-academic and training periods, including the medical school and internship residency, it's a period including which is exactly in the time of the peak years. It takes a lot of years out of you finish your medical school when you're around 30, and you're training at around 30 plus, and it really makes your exactly at the point where you have to make a decision regarding your family. Professional advancements in this specific field of cardiology, you have to continue to do learning and training. I mean, it doesn't end by medical school, or when you finish your training as a cardiologist. You have to constantly learn and read and do academic work in order to be excellent. And then there is the issue of radiation exposure. 98% of invasive cardiologists are men. I mean, you have radiation in a lot of fields, not only in coronary intervention. And this is a very important issue. I mean, it's an issue regarding fertility, it's an issue regarding the weight of your vest. Long working hours, night shifts, on-calls, outpatient clinics, private practice. It all consumes a lot of time, and this time it comes on the time of the family. Fellowship. Fellowship is something usually you do abroad, and then opposite to men, you have to take your husband and your family away with you. And this is sometimes an issue which is not very, very easy, not always cooperative. Academic career. It's also, again, it's time-consuming, something you do after working hours in the evening, in the night, and it also comes on the time of your family, over the time of your family. And what about administrative rules? Well, there is lack of opportunities, competition, and women mainly remain underrepresented. So one example, according to a survey which was published in Women Intervention recently, among women cardiology, women are less frequently married and more frequently childless during their when this was survey was taken place. And the most prevalent reason for choosing invasive cardiology was passion, while those for not choosing were lack of opportunity and radiation exposure. Men who were applying for this survey thought that women do not choose invasive cardiology because of the on-calls and long working hours. So this is not the issue. We're not afraid of hard work. It's just that there are other issues that come away. So what about career and family? In most cases, although the woman has a career, she usually keeps the task of household management and raising children. Studies have shown that couples both having a career are still trapped in sexual stereotypes. And although there is male participation in housework, it is a woman who runs the household herself. And furthermore, women are also responsible for other issues around the house. For example, the emotional issues and relationships within the family. I mean, all the problems with the child and fighting of the children and everything which is related to what kind of afternoon occupations they will have, and you manage their whole after school daytime schedule. And then between the career and family there are several everyday challenges. First, in the interwar conflict, there is a demand, there is always a conflict and a demand between one pole, which is work or home, and then which interacts with the job demands, which comes from the other area. I mean, there is always this conflict of where do I have to give most of my time or my attention? Is it to work, where I currently working right now, I'm doing a day that I'm in a very stressful, I'm having a very stressful day, and then there are some things which are scheduled from my family, from my house, and I have to all the time there is this conflict that I have to deal with. Where should I be right now? In my working place or in my family? Where do they need me most? And then this constant conflicts always leads to two reactions. One is from the family, which is usually anger, dissatisfaction, disappointment, or feeling of neglect. And then there is my feeling, which is guilt, fear, exhaustion, and desperation. And this emotion goes with us through the whole of our career. And then there is another very, very difficult challenge. For me, I think it's one of the most difficult challenges, which is the spillover. When there is an emotion which spills from one position to another and vice versa. For example, I was very frustrated at work, and then I come back home and I take it out on my family, or vice versa. And I had a very big fight with my husband or with my children, and I go back to work and I can't function. And this is something that some people may have the ability to overcome this and to not to think about it and to have a specific separation between work and home. But for me as a woman, it's impossible. And then comes the issue of motherhood. In the struggle between career and motherhood, women physicians may choose different courses. Some women postpone parenting until they reach a certain point in their career. Some women postpone a career in order to devote themselves first to parenting. Some women take a break or stall their career while raising young children and return once their children grow up. And some women devote themselves to parenting and career at the same time. And there is also the issue of fertility. Female physicians may experience unique challenges regarding fertility and family planning, given the demands of medical education and training, which occupies the prime productive years. As you can see, the average age for graduation and training completion is quite high, and also the first attempt of conceiving is also at around the 30s. A progressive decline in fertility generally occurs a decade earlier in women compared to men, and the collision of biological and professional clocks may be a particularly important issue for many female physicians and may have a critical implication for professional advancement and career satisfaction. A good example is a survey published recently regarding motherhood among 600 female physicians, which presented several interesting facts. While the average age was 43 when taking the survey, 82% of participants were parents, and 77% of which had biological children. Infertility was common in 24%, with average age at diagnosis of 33. 30% were due to diminished ovarian reserve. When asked what they would do differently in retrospect, 28% would have attempted conception earlier, and 70% would have gone into a different specialty. So now for my personal experience. So this is my family. I have two small daughters. One is 1.5 years old, and the other is 4. And I have a husband who has also a very important career. During my medical school, I started my medical school when I was 21. I finished it when I was 28. I got married quite late when I was 31 during my internal medicine fellowship. And then during my cardiology fellowship, I had my first daughter. And when I was 33, and my second one was just 1.5 years old when I finished my my training. So currently I work as a senior physician in the intensive care unit, at least 6 on-calls a month, usually very active ones. I have an outpatient clinic, and I have I'm very academically involved, involving a conference like this one, student education and a lot of work in the university. And this leads to at least 2 days a week and 1 weekend a month when I'm away from home. So sometimes they have to come to work to find me. Biggest personal challenges, I think, can be divided to 3. First of all, is a lot of compromises. For example, I had to give up my passion to invasive cardiology. I had to give up my fellowship because my husband had a career here and didn't want to leave it. I had to have a very short maternity leave. I had to give up a large family, and I have to give up a lot of sleep. Persistence. I'm very, I would not give up on household chores, on healthy food which is cooked, on my children's education, and family quality time. This is regarding my family, but on the other hand, my professional advancement, academic career, and excellency. The most difficult time, I think, was when I had to do IVF in my first daughter. It was very difficult. This is something which took a lot of time, and it was very difficult to do on-calls and to be within a very hectic ward with a lot of active patients, and to be reminded the day clock that I have to get an injection and to get out of their way for a few minutes and go back to work like nothing has happened. This was something which was emotionally very, very difficult. But I can give you some basic rules to succeed. First, you have to have a very good partner, one which is very supportive and one who is can have time away from his work to be when you are not. Second, you have to compromise on some principles. Sometimes you have to do things which are the easiest and the fastest way, and you have to give up a lot of things which may give you a lot of time, but unfortunately, I don't give up on them. Another thing is you have to get some help, but then you have to work more to pay for that help. So, but beside all of these, You spoke before about environment, and I think environment is something very important, and you can't succeed without a good supportive environment. And this, I will take the opportunity to thank both Tali Porter, which is she's a real mentor for me, mostly in everything which is related to family, the combination of family and working hard, and she's a real role model. And the second one is Professor Bornowski, which I think that without his encouragement and help and his promotion, I would not be standing here at all. So it's very important to have a lot of support and to work in a supportive environment that pushes you forward and doesn't let you give up. Finally, I think that in opposed to men, we are superwomen, and because we can perform several things at the same time, we can accomplish more.